Hello my friends, welcome to another update on the Western Kansas Rails end scale layout. This is what we've been working on the workbench for the last week or two, and we ended up finding three Atlas 40-foot bulkhead flat cars, and we are modifying them to make them a little more detailed and scale ready. So this is one of the flat cars. Of course, the trucks have been removed and updated with metal wheel sets. But also we've got Micro Trains has weathered decks, which are basically printed cardboard sheets that you cut and fit. So we have them. Now, you see the ends there would not normally be there, where the metal bands are running across there, but it doesn't really matter because this is going to be full of a lumber load. Now, this is the pack that they came in. This is from Micro Trains, and as you can see, they're for a 50-foot flat car, but we have 40, so we're going to have to modify them anyway. But they're basically, you can see some, let me pan down just a little bit, and you can see some of the scraps that we had from cutting them down to size to fit on the 40-foot car lengths. And that got us a little more weathered deck look on the bulkhead flat, which will be just the edges will be shown from underneath the lumber load. Now, this is the kit that we got from Midwest Model Railroad. It's a lumber load from Osborne Model Kits. They're made in Canada. And I was impressed by the coloration on the sides of them. They're laser cut 1/8 inch scale plywood. So we'll open this one up here and show you the contents. Now, there's two panels of the cut lumber loads. They have what they call a top and a bottom. This is the top of the top. So if you wanted to make a lumber load of dimensionally cut lumber, you would use this part on top. This is the bottom portion, and they're just smooth on both sides. So they're very easy to break out. You break them out and you glue them together into a stack. So this is basically what they look like when you glue the top and the bottom halves together. Now, the interesting part of this is I've done two lumber loads so far using the dimensional lumber as showing up on top. But you could very easily turn it around and show it that way with just the plain side for a sheet plywood load, which is what we're going to do on our third car. Okay, this is car number one. This was mostly kind of experimental, and we got all our pallets put together. Didn't really sand them very hard on the side, so we left the burning on the edges of the wood and basically glued them together in stacks. Now, they give spacers to fit under each stack to give that, because you're going to have blocking underneath each layer. And I decided to, instead of using their spacers, I just made strips of 20,000 sheet styrene, which gave me a much more wider and stable platform for that. So we'll turn this over like this so you can see I've got the dimensional cut lumber showing on top, and it looks pretty good all the way around. And then we've also modified the trucks so that they're painted, and we swapped them for Micro Train trucks and ESM metal wheels. Now, on the second car, I wanted to include the strapping and banding, and so I looked on Amazon.com and found ChartPack. This is graphic tape. It's designed to make graphs on, say, metal surface boards. And the adhesive is very sticky, although it's also designed to peel off if you make a mistake and you want to reposition. So it's not really a permanent adhesive. So I always, whenever I use chart tape, that I use a little bit of tacky glue in order to keep them down permanently. But I decided, looking at the different widths available, I used 1/32 matte black for the metal, or for the canvas straps that would go around the total load, and then I also used 1/64 for the individual bands around the lumber loads themselves. Okay, here's a look at car number two. Now you can see that I used the 1/64 for the metal banding that would go around each stack, but I really wasn't as precise as I should have been. I would imagine that in some sort of a lumber yard that the sheets would, or the dimensional lumber would be stacked by a machine, therefore the bands would be precisely at the same point on every stack. I wasn't quite that precise. So the next one I will do that better. The other thing I did was paint the ends of the stacks different colors to indicate different grades of the different stacks that they might possibly be. And then we used the 1/32 banding for the straps that would hold the loads down to the car itself. Now, having posted this on Facebook, I was informed by some knowledgeable people that the FRA would not allow to have stacks above the top of the bulkhead. Now that I did only because in the kit it shows that, and so I was just kind of following what they had done. But what we're probably going to do on this car is remove the banding and take the top stacks off and redo it. Also, I'm going to try to paint, well, I've tried it and it works. I'm going to paint the flat black chart tape a tan color to simulate canvas strapping, which will be a little more realistic. So the third car we'll show you a little bit later. This is the one that we started out. This is the third car that we're ready to go. We've already got some of the lumber loads ready, and like I said, we're going to flip them over so that they're showing a plywood load, and we should have this car ready to go shortly, so we'll have another update. Thanks for watching.